Hello everybody, welcome to episode 148 of Show Viewers. Today we'll be going over episode 9 of Daemons of the Shadow Realm. And this episode starts off with us seeing as, what do we call it, Yuru and Dara continue to progress out to the cities of Japan. We see as they go on a bit of a shopping spree. We see as they go to a department store and they, show Yuru around the world. They go on, a little yacht, tour. They go to a horse race. They go to I said at a department store to pick up materials for Yuru to make a bow. And while they're at the department store, they notice that they are being trailed by 3 people. But they say nonchalant about it. They keep walking, and Dara tells Yuru, yo, don't look back, and just keep walking and go as everything is. So ultimately, we then end up swapping over back to the Kagemori clan at headquarters. We see as Asa is going through her phone and stuff like that, and we see she's looking at the pictures with Yuru in them, and then ultimately she ends up removing Dara from the one picture that Yuru had with him. And we then see as Jin walks up and he's like, yo, do you got that picture with Dara in it? She's like, no picture had Dara in it because she removed it and she obliterated it from her memory. But yeah, so we then see as that progresses, and then we ultimately get to see as the people who raided the Kagemori clan establishment or estate are being interrogated. And we see that they have the one of them's name is Makoto. She's a woman. She's the one with the little 2 animal daemons. And the other one's the one who got his daemon stolen by Asa. So we see as they're being interrogated, and ultimately we get introduced to this new character, Fuyuki. And Fuyuki has this ability called Blacklist. And what it does is it sprouts 2 arms from his back, and they grab onto the daemons of a character. And through their daemons, they can tell this person's entire history and all of that. We see as this is first used on Makoto, and these daemons are her daemons are grabbed, and then he tells everything about how she has a mother who's struggling and all of that. Also, during this time, they end up releasing that the person that was behind all of this was a character by the name of Akishima. And that they were just there as mercenaries. They didn't really have any role in it. All they knew, like I said, was Akishima. They didn't really know his motives or anything like that. And they end up being corroborated through the use of Blacklist, like I said, which is Fuyuki's ability. And because Fuyuki uses it on both of them, he ends up using it on her, clears her, and then he ends up using it on Yin and Yang, which are now Asa's daemons, and reveals that the dude is also clean as well. So then after this, we see as Gonzo ends up talking with him. He's like, yo, well, since you're clean and we know everything about you, we will let you work with us. And we see as he agrees to pay off all of Makoto's mother's medical bills and all of that. And we see as he offers the other man pay for working to pay off his gambling debts, which he has. But yeah, so we see all this play out, and then ultimately we see as Gonzo and then we're walking away, and they're talking about how. Also, one thing I forgot to mention was that they were told when they were revealing some stuff, being interrogated, they revealed that they came in through a west gate on the Kagemori estate. However, Jin and Gonzo both corroborated that in fact there's not a west gate and the west wall is entirely just wall. So yeah, that may mean there's an insider in the Kagemori clan. Probably Asuma, but I don't know. But yeah, so we see this, and like I said, then Gonzo ends up walking away, and he's like, yeah, if we find, pardon me, it's if we find anyone who is responsible actually for this and had actually a connection, kill them on the spot and kill anyone associated with them. And so, and through interrogation, stuff like that. So then we actually get to see a clip of Hagure Kagemori, or Hiku Kagemori, whatever you want to call him. But yeah, so we see he's actually talking with his editor, and it looks like he's speaking about some possibly nefarious stuff about having help from Asa and Gabi, and we also get to see a brief interaction with Gabi and Asa and the 2 new people talking about naming daemons. And we get to see that Gabriel in fact has a far longer name than just Gabriel. But yeah, so he's talking about this, and he seems to be trading insider information. However, we actually get to see that he's just talking with his editor and about how Asa and Gabi have been helping him with his manga, editing and all that. So he is not an insider. But yeah, so then after this, we end up going back to Dara and Yuru, and we see as ultimately Dara's I'm gonna take you to my house and my abode. And so he ends up taking Yuru to a weapons storehouse where they end up getting well equipped, and then they head back out. And we see as the 3 people who are following them ultimately follow them all the way here, but Yuru and Dara are able to get out quick enough and then take the jump on them. And ultimately, they end up fighting, and they're easily taken out. We see as Dara, in fact, uses the Kagemori daemons, which right and left had noticed prior. But he ends up using this, and their daemons are essentially a domain, because what he does is he sends them to this realm that only he knows the way to get into. Only Dara knows the way to get into. It's like a Dara clan daemon. And with that, we see as all of them are standing here, Yudu and Dara and right and left obviously end up coming in. And then one of the other people who was like assuaging them or ambushed them ends up getting sent here as well, and he ends up kind of revealing what the Daemons do and all of that. And during this time, we see as they're kind of cowering in fear, and then suddenly this dude's head gets whacked off. And we see as well, prior to this, right and left had been mentioning about how, we're still detecting a pair of Daemons, and Dara was like, yeah, it's this place, and then they're like, no, it's different ones. And we see then as like this big, like hulking and long arm thing, looking like the long, looking like it's from the Long Arm clan in One Piece, ends up rising out from this little creek. And we then see as a not a compartment, but a compatriot of it is rising elsewhere on top of like the house area of this thing, and it has massive legs, like the Long Legs clan in One Piece. But yeah, so we see both of them end up coming out and dealing with the three attackers or the three ambushers pretty easily, at least two of them. And they end up rising out, and right and left actually know these characters because, well, actually, the two entities end up speaking about how they know right and left first. And then we see as right and left recognize them, they're like, yo, you two need to get out of here, or we will deal with them. And they end up revealing that these characters' names or these entities' names are Tenaga and Ashinaga, and they have really cool designs. Like, they will most certainly be on the thumbnail of this video, but yeah, it was really cool, and it was like one of the coolest Daemon introductions, probably the coolest Daemon introduction we've had in all of Shadows of Daemons of the Shadow Realm so far. But yeah, this episode was really good. It ended on a great part. I'm ready to see where they go with episode 10. I presume we only got 3 episodes left, 10, 11, and 12, because usually anime seasons are only 12 episodes, but I don't really know, because I know I haven't watched any modern Studio Bones or Bones anime, so, because I've only watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood from them, and that was kind of divided into arcs rather than seasons. So yeah, I'm really ready to see how they go with it. I'm ready to see what our number of episodes will be. Can probably just Google it and see how many there will be, but I'll do that later. But yeah, like I said, that's all it really was for episode 9 of Daemons of the Shadow Realm. That's all I really have for episode 148 of Show Review. So thank you very much for watching.